the Quran was recited in Taraweeh Salaah. And in the 12th juz, Surah Hud is also mentioned and its end for a portion of Surah Yūsuf. A glimpse of the special style of the Quran and Majid is clearly seen in this particular surah. First, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention about the truthfulness of the Quran and Majid, and as well as the proofs of the incidents, and makes mention with regard to Tawheed and Risalah, the prophethood of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Thereafter, Nabi alayhi salam, Allah ta'ala makes mention with regard to the different narrations, different narratives, different incidents of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Hud alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Salih alayhi salam, Hazrat Lut alayhi salam, Hazrat Shu'aib alayhi salam, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Hazrat Harun alayhi salam, etc. And all these are brought about to prove that wahi comes down, revelation comes down from Allah Ta'ala to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Because the mushrikeen of Makkah knew very well that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was an ummi, unlettered. Nobody taught him to read or write as well. But where did he get all these incidents and mentioning it in such a fluent manner and with such style? Definitely there is a great being who is sending revelation upon Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. And then these incidents are from the information of the unseen, which Allah Ta'ala makes mention, these from the narrations of the unseen which we reveal to you, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Neither you nor your people knew about them. تِلْكَ بِأَنْبَاءِ الْغَيْبِ نُوحِيهَا إِلَيْكَ. And nobody knew about these particular narrations. That's why, thus be patient on Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The final outcome is only in favor of those who are fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And after mentioning all these incidents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention from the incidents of certain villages that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had destroyed, completely destroyed, that nothing remained. Some have been completely destroyed, others there were few things that only remained. And thereafter Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after informing this to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advises Rasul alayhi salatu wa salam and the people and the Sahaba Ikram and the Mu'mineen and the believers that فَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتَ, that be steadfast. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the sincere people that be steadfast upon the commands that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed. It is mentioned because of this ayah. Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala says that Janabi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, on one occasion the Sahaba seen, and he said that, O Nabi of Allah, we are seeing that you are aging. That means the signs of old age. White hair started appearing upon the head and upon the beard of Janabi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, Shayyabatni, that it is Shayyabatni al-Huda wa akhwatuha utamaqal. It is the surahs like Hud and sister surahs, and these surahs where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention of the previous nations and azab of the previous nations, etc. And in certain surahs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention with regard to the ahwal of Qiyamah, with regard to the happenings of Qiyamah. It is because of these aspects that I am getting gray. And according to Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala and other Sahaba, it was because of this particular ayah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding the Nabi alayhi salam, فَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتَ, that be steadfast. Be steadfast, and istiqamah is a great, if a person has steadfastness in anything he does, it is a great bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One Sahabi comes to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and says, O Nabi of Allah, grant me some advice. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam says, that bring iman, amantu billah thumma istaqim, that bring iman upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be steadfast upon it. Steadfast upon the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Steadfast in a person's aqaid, steadfast in a person's in his mu'asharat, his mu'amalat, in his dealings with people, in every aspect. What is meant by steadfast is that don't go against the grain. Do not go out of the boundary. Do not add anything. Do not subtract anything. And you will find that in other previous nations, when they were commanded by the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, we find that some of them started adding things. Some of them started exaggerating to such an extent that, for example, you find the people of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, what did they do? They started believing that Isa alayhi salam is the son of God. Isa alayhi salam is the son of Allah. Uzair ibn Allah. That the Jews also started saying that Uzair alayhi salam is the son of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala wa na'udhu billah. So this was for a message for Nabi alayhi salam and the Sahaba Ikram and for the Ummah to come, that be steadfast upon the commandments of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Thereafter, we all know the very beautiful surah which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had revealed as well in the 12 juz of the Holy Quran in the Surah Yūsuf, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this entire incident of Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam is mentioned here. It is mentioned that the Jews of Medina, when they heard with regard to the prophethood of Nabi alayhi salam, then some of them came to Makkah Mukarramah and they questioned Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They wanted to test his prophethood. At that time, many people did not know the incident of, you could say the people of Makkah were unaware with regard to the incident of Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salam and what his brothers had done to him. So they came to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and they asked Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam to inform us of that Nabi whose brothers had wanted to kill him and narrate to us the incident. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed Surah Yūsuf. If you study Surah Yūsuf, unlike the other surahs, and unlike the other aspects of the other Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, that certain aspects will be mentioned in this surah, that surah, this surah, but Surah Yūsuf is unique. That the entire incident of Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salam is mentioned here. And if yes, in other surahs the name of Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salam comes, but not this incident is mentioned again. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if it makes mention that نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ, that we are mentioning to you, narrating, revealing to you the best of incidents, أَحْسَنُ الْقَصَصِ, the best of the stories. And if we have to go through the entire incident, it will take us time. We'll just go, inshallah, try to sum it up. First and foremost, Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam was the son of Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam. Yaqub alayhi salam was blessed with 12 children. Two of them, Yūsuf alayhi salam and Binyamin, were from one mother. The first wife of Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam was Leah. She passed away. Thereafter, Yaqub alayhi salam got married to the mother of Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salam, and she gave birth to 2 children. According to some narrations, she also passed away when Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam was still young. Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam, on one occasion, he comes to his father. إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. Oh my father, I have seen in a dream. I have seen in a dream إني رأيت 11 كوكبا. I have seen 11 stars. والشمس والقمر, and I have seen the sun and the moon. رأيتهم لي ساجدين. I have seen these making sajda to me. قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا. Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam informs Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salam that, oh my beloved son, do not mention this to your brothers. Knowing that if the brothers are going to get to know about it, the enmity and hasad and hatred will come into their heart. And if they understand, already they used to hate Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Because Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam had love for Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and because he was amongst the younger, the younger of his sons, and naturally, when the smaller children are in the home, you find that the father or the parents have more love for those who are still small. So they then decided that we need to destroy the son of this brother of ours, because what is it that our father is loving him more? We are elder than him. We can help our father. We have strength. So they decided that إن أبانا لفي ضلال مبين اقتلوا يوسف أو اطرحوه أرضا يخل لكم وجه أبيكم وتكونوا من بعد قوما صالحين. That they decided that we will rather kill this brother, and later on we will وتكونوا من بعده, and later on will be from amongst those who will ask Allah Ta'ala for tawbah, and will become amongst those who are the pious servants of Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. What is also being mentioned that the brothers of Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam, despite committing the sin, they were not kafirs. They were still the believers of the religion of Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. But what had caught them was hasad. That is why if you look at it, if you remember the incident of the 2 children of Adam alayhi salam that we made mention of, Habil and Qabil, what caused enmity there? It was hasad and jealousy. Here also it is hasad and jealousy. And if you look at this hasad and jealousy, what is hasad? Sometimes they say hasad is that when you are sad at a happy occasion of your next Muslim brother. When you are sad at his occasion, at a happy occasion, you must understand that you have jealousy in your heart. Simple. If you are not happy with your next Muslim brother, that Allah has blessed him with something, and you are saying, why did Allah bless that person? That is a type of hasad and jealousy. That is why when you see Allah blesses somebody with something, then at that moment, MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. We must decide this, that whatever is by that person, it is because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah Rabbul Izzah has the power and the qudrat of giving what to whom He wishes. That is why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, إِيَّاكَ وَالْحَسَدْ فَإِنَّ الْحَسَدْ تَأْكُلُ الْحَسَنَاتِ. That stay away from hasad and jealousy. For verily hasad and jealousy eats away your good deeds. كَمَا تَأْكُلُ النَّارُ الْحَطَبَ. Just like how fire eats up the firewood. When you put wood into fire, slowly it gets eaten up. In the same way, because you're having jealousy, it's like burning those good deeds and your good amal that your person does. So anyway, قَالَ قَائِلٌ مِنْهُمْ لَا تَقْتُلُوا يُوسُفَ وَأَلْقُوهُ فِي غَيَابَةِ الْجُبِّ. So nowadays the brothers started planning that let us take Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam and kill him. One of them, according to some narrations, the eldest one called Yahuda, he said that do not kill him. Do not kill him. Rather, take him. وَأَلْقُوهُ فِي غَيَابَةِ الْجُبِّ. Take him and throw him into a well. Take him and throw him into the well. Perhaps some passerbys will come and they will take him from there and he will be moved away from this place. Then they came to the father, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, and said, قَالُوا يَا أَبَانَا مَا لَكَ لَا تَأْمَنَ عَلَى يُوسُفَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَنَاصِحُونَ أَرْسِلْهُ مَعَنَا غَدًا يَرْتَعْ وَيَلْعَبْ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. But oh father, what is this reason that you think that we cannot look after our brother Yūsuf alayhi salam? Why don't you send him with us? He was about 7 years of age. Why don't you send him with us when we go out to go play, to go and run, to have some fun? Send him with us. قال إني ليحزنني أن تذهبوا به وأخاف أن يأكله الذئب وأنتم عنه غافلون. Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam told him, no, I don't want to send him because I have the fear that perhaps when you are going to enjoy yourself, and he's a young boy still, he's going to be left behind, and while you people are playing and enjoying yourself, perhaps the wolves will come and they will eat him up. It is mentioned that Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam seen a dream, that he seen a dream that 11, or he seen a dream that 10 wolves, and he seen himself on top of the mountain, and his son Yūsuf alayhi salam at the bottom, and 10 wolves came and devoured him. But one of the wolves from there, one of them then tried to separate him from there and tried to save him and placed him in a hole. This was the dream that Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam had seen. Later on, it was that the 10 wolves that he seen was his own children. That they were going to take him and they wanted to kill him. And that one who tried to save him was Yahuda, the elder brother, who took him and put him into the well, the hole meaning the well. So this, later on, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam came to know about it. And so when they took him to, they went out and they in the morning, and they came back at night. And what they did is, while they were there, they took him and they placed him into this well. And they left him in this well. At that moment, Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam, when they threw him down, then Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam, according to some narrations, came and placed a rock so that he didn't fall right down. And they put him on that bucket, but what they did is they had snapped the string of that bucket. And they went away. When they came back, يَا أَبَانَا إِنَّا ذَهَبْنَا نَسْتَبِقُ وَتَرَكْنَا يُوسُفَ عِنْدَ مَتَاعِنَا فَأَكَلَهُ الذِّئْبُ وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُؤْمِنٍ لَنَا وَلَوْ كُنَّا صَادِقِينَ. وَجَاءُوا عَلَى قَمِيصِهِ بِدَمٍ كَذِبٍ. So what they did is they ran to their father. But before that, they took out the shirt of Yūsuf alayhi salam, and they slaughtered a wolf, and they took the blood and they placed it upon the shirt, taking it to the father, saying that, oh, our father, that we went out to go and race, and we left Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam with our provisions. He was there, and we came back, we found that the wolves had come and had eaten Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And they took the shirt, and they brought that shirt, and they placed it in front of the father, that if you don't believe us, here is the shirt. At that time, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam also, looking at the shirt and saying that these foxes, or these wolves, they were quite intelligent, because the way they ate my son Yūsuf alayhi salam, then they left the shirt intact. They left the shirt intact. Knows if a wolf is going to eat you, and obviously an animal or anything, they're going to stretch it, they're going to tear it, you're not going to get it intact. So the brothers didn't realize that, and they brought it. Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam at that moment said that فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ, that I will make sabr. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala later on will obviously bring out the truth. And at that moment, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam obviously continued crying for Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam to such an extent that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took his eyesight away. It is mentioned daily that brother Yahuda used to come and see, and used to bring some food also for Yūsuf alayhi salam, used to put it down with the bucket, and then used to come away when his brothers were not looking at him. Until one day he had come, وَقَالَ الَّذِي اشْتَرَاهُ مِنْ مِصْرَ لِامْرَأَتِهِ أَكْرِمِ مَثْوَاهُ عَسَىٰ أَن يَنفَعُنَا أَوْ نَتَّخِذَهُ وَلَدًا. That on one day it is mentioned that وَجَاءَتْ سَيَّارَةٌ فَأَرْسَلُوا وَادِرَهُمْ فَأَدْلَى دَلْوَةً. He had seen a caravan coming, and the people came and they seen this boy. They took him out of the bucket, and he at that moment, it is mentioned that according to one narration, the brothers were there, and they actually sold him to say this is a young slave, and they sold him over for meager rate, not because they wanted any money, but the only reason so that the people who buy them obviously will appreciate something that you paid for, and they'll take him away. Otherwise, it mustn't be that they leave him around here and he comes back home and informs the incident to the father, Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. So at that moment, they also told him that this youngster, the slave, is a very cunning type of person, he's very sly, and he likes to make some type of stories. So be careful, do not let him run away. Anyway, they took him and they brought him into Misr, and the Aziz of Misr at that time bought him, and it is mentioned he brought him and gave him to his wife and said that look after this boy. Look after this boy, and he gave her advice to treat him well. And it is mentioned Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam used to be treated very, very well. And at one moment, at one occasion, وَرَادَتْهُ الَّتِي هُوَ فِي بَيْتِهَا عَنْ نَفْسِهِ وَغَلَّقَتِ الْأَبْوَابَ وَقَالَتْ هَيْتَ لَهُ قَالَ مَعَاذَ اللَّهِ إِنَّهُ رَبِّي أَحْسَنَ مَثْوَايَ إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Now, Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam was granted a lot of beauty. And it is mentioned Zulaykha, the wife of the Aziz of Misr, of the minister of Misr, she on one occasion was alone with Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And obviously this evil thought came into her mind of committing the sin of adultery with Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And she first started speaking, according to some narrations, about the beauty of Yūsuf alayhi salam, that you got so beautiful hair. And Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam answering that this hair, what use is it? Because the day when I'm in a qabr, this hair will be all destroyed. She said, you got such a beautiful face. He said, what use is this face of mine when I will be in a qabr, and it will be eaten up by the insects, and I will not have that beauty any longer. And he continued. She was trying, obviously, to seduce him. And then, وَغَلَّقَتِ الْأَبْوَابِ, and she closed all the doors. وَقَالَ هَيْ تَرَكْ, and he said, you know what, come close to me. Come now, let us commit this. At that time, Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam, it is mentioned, لَقَدْ هَمَّتْ بِهِ وَهَمَّ بِهَا لَوْلَا أَرْغَى بُرْهَانَ رَبِّي. A little bit of inclination. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Actually, also to mention this in a wrong way is actually blasphemous towards a Nabi, because every Nabi is protected from sin. Every Nabi is protected from sin. So it was Allah Ta'ala who protected Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam, that Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam did not go near this woman, or even at one stage, as he said, to a certain degree, little bit of inclination, but immediately Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And it is mentioned when وَاسْتَبَقَ الْبَابُ وَقَدَّتْ قَمِيصَهُ مِنْ دُبُرٍ وَأَلْفَ يَا سَيِّدَهَا لَدَى الْبَابِ قَالَتْ مَا جَزَاءُ مَنْ أَرَادَ بِأَهْلِكَ سُوءًا إِلَّا أَنْ يُسْجَنَ وَعَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. As they were running, she locked the doors. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to his power, made it that lock open as Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam ran through the door. And when he comes, in front of him is the Aziz and Misr. Her husband is standing there, and then she now is getting caught. So what does she say? That what type of punishment will you give that person who tries to commit the sin with your wife? Nothing else but you will keep him, you will lock him up in the jail. At that moment, Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam says that and tries to explain himself. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at that moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired a young boy who was still in infancy. وَشَهِدَ شَاهِدٌ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا, from amongst the family, and he spoke out. It is mentioned there's about 3 youngsters who spoke in a cradle. One was this boy at the time of Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam. One was at the time of one was Esha alayhi salatu wasalam, and one was Sahib Jurayj, also who spoke out. A pious person from the Bani Israel who spoke out at that time when one woman also was, it was mentioned that she committed adultery, and he spoke out to say about her purity. Anyway, this particular youngster could have just said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have ordered to say that Yūsuf is clear. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look at the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that this youngster said, إِنْ كَانَ قَمِيصُهُ قُدَّ مِنْ قُبُلٍ فَصَدَقَتْ وَهُوَ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ وَإِنْ كَانَ قَمِيصُهُ قُدَّ مِنْ دُبُرٍ فَكَذَبَتْ وَهُوَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ. That if the shirt is torn from the front, that if the shirt of Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam is torn from the front, then understand that Zulaykha is talking the truth and Yūsuf alayhi salam is lying. وَإِنْ كَانَ قَمِيصَهُ قُدَّ مِنْ دُبُرٍ فَكَذَبَتْ, and if it is torn from behind, then understand that your wife Zulaykha is lying and Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam is speaking the truth. And obviously when you're trying to get somebody, you're going to get him from behind. And the shirt of Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam was torn from behind. However, Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam was then taken and he was placed in jail. And he said that I prefer and I love staying in this particular place. And thereafter it is mentioned that the women of the time started talking. And look at this, the wife of the Aziz ibn Misr, Zulaykha. I mean, she's such from an honorable family, and this is the despicable act she wanted to commit, and it became the talk of town. So she decided she needs to clear her name. وقال نسوة في المدينة امرأة العزيز تراود فتاها عن نفسه فشغفها حبها. She then, after hearing this, she then decided وأعطت لهن متكأ وآتت كل واحد منهن سكينة. She invited all of them for a meal, and she gave them each one وآتت كل واحدة منهن سكينة. Each of them she gave them a knife, and she said وقالت تخرج عليهم. She told Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam, she called Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam to walk in front of them. Yūsuf alayhi salam did not know what she was doing, but he came out, and when the people and the ladies of the time came out and they seen the beauty. فَلَمَّا رَأَيْنَا أَدْبَرْنَا وَقَطَّعْنَا أَيْدِيَهُنَّ وَقُلْنَا حَاشَ لِلَّهِ مَا هَذَا بَشَرٌ. When they seen the beauty of Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and she ordered them that when Yūsuf alayhi salam comes out, she then ordered them to slice the apple or cut the apple, and instead of cutting the apple, each one of them cut their fingers and said, "Ma hadha bashara." This is an angel. What beauty! How handsome! As an Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala says that if the ladies and the women of Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam had to see my Habib, our beloved Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, they wouldn't cut their fingers, Allah's qasam, they would have cut out their hearts. The beauty of Nabi alayhi salam. That they wouldn't have cut their fingers, they would have cut their hearts. And thereafter, it was mentioned that Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam was put into the jail. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when the people started, when he was in jail, and the people started coming to him, they seen his good qualities, they seen his ilm. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had blessed him. But ta'bir al-ru'ya was giving interpretations for dreams. And interpretation for dreams is not anybody's job. Today, unfortunately, many of us, what we do is, because there are certain kitabs which are in, people have translated, or it's in the marketplace, a person sees the dream, they buy the kitab, they read, oh, this is the dream, yes, this is happening. Dreams cannot be interpreted like that. Dreams, everybody is not for interpretation of dreams. We have to have the knowledge of Quran, the knowledge of Hadith. You have to have the knowledge of certain aspects of Sharia as well. And all this put together, the temperament of the place that people are living as well. Many a times, for example, you see in a dream, for example, that someone is perhaps dying. Now you go to the person and you say, no, I've seen, my mother was dying or my father was dying. Normally, literally, we say maybe their life is short now. But you find that sometimes the interpretation of that will be that they will be living longer. That Allah is going to grant them long life. Now look at that. Obviously, it is not on everybody's dream. So for this, you need to go to certain ulama whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed. You can just not pick up a book, or like I said, go to ulama, Google and decide to get your thing. Many times you get the wrong interpretation. And when the wrong thing happens, then you cry. So these things also, Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam was blessed with ta'bir al-ru'ya, what the aspects of giving the interpretation for dreams. And we know that the people seen certain dreams. One of them seen that he was feeding people with wine, and the other one, he was the one who gives out the wine, and the other one seen that some birds, he had some roti or bread on his head, and the birds were eating from there, etc. And then the king also got to know about the king of the time got to know with regard to his interpretation of dreams, and the king had seen a particular dream, and then he had sent for Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam, etc. And that is how actually the first part of it, which ends in Surah, in the 12 juz of the Holy Quran, and ended. This was the incident of Yūsuf alayhi salam. Inshallah, tomorrow will continue when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention, وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ, and a few 12 of 13 points that we could take out from this incident of Yūsuf alayhi salatu wasalam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspire one and all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the tawfiq of understanding Quran, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who are His close servants and from amongst His beloved servants, and make us Qurans who love His beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.